All right. Welcome back. It has been far, far, far too long since our last episode, but we're back with the Midwest Sports Podcast. And boy, shit happened.
Shit did happen. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Stuff got pretty hectic and busy during the bulk of the season there, but we've got more time now and we're back. So it was a crazy NFL season, a lot of storylines.
Boy, was it a crazy
If,
season.
if you remember earlier in the year, we did some predictions on the Packers and Broncos seasons.
100% accurate.
And yeah, everything was accurate. All of our Jordan Love takes were accurate.
Oh, those we'll get to Jordan Love and exactly
Yes.
how we feel about him. Trust me, that one.
Yes. But yes, it's good to be back. It's good to be here. It's good to talk some football. Playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Playoffs. Well,
Let's go.
playoffs can only mean one thing. The regular season is over, and I would really like to go back and look just to see exactly how 100% accurate our predictions were, because man, the NFL season had taken a few turns there, and it was not a straight shot to the finish line, I think, for really any team unless your name is San Francisco or Baltimore. So, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, let's just dive right into it.
Let's do it.
As
We start with
everybody
Denver?
around knows, we've got two main teams that we've been covering, right? We've got the Green Bay Packers, who, despite all of our positive energy, did actually make the playoffs. And then we've got the other guys, who came pretty close. Let's give the Broncos some credit. Let's give them some credit. They almost made it. We got closer than we probably should have this year. So let's cover them first because they're out. Let's get them done and over with. Get it out of the way. And yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Right. So we had the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
We had the beginning of the season here with Las Vegas, and we all know how that game went. What did we predict for this game here?
We both predicted the Broncos to win.
Yeah, I think most people did. New coach is gonna fix Russell Wilson. Was gonna have a revitalized offense. Ooh, that one maybe didn't go the way we thought it would. And then we had the heartbreaking Fail Mary against the Commanders, where we got the Hail Mary and then the egregious PI from 2-point conversion
forgot
cost
about-
us a game. Yeah, that one stings.
forgot
a little
about
bit,
that one.
we win one of those two
Yeah.
games, we're in the playoffs. That's how bad that one stings.
Dude. So early in the season too. Like at that point in the season, you're thinking like, oh, like you're not really thinking. I mean, the divisional, like the Raiders one, really probably matters, but you're still thinking like, well, it's really early. Like we can still rebound here. Like it's new coach. Like with Russ, like they got to get time to kind of formulate, a good plan and like build some chemistry with play calling and as far as like how Russ can manage the game. But yeah, looking back, it's like fuck. You're right. If they would have won just one of those games, we'd be talking about them like we'll be talking about Green Bay later.
Exactly.
Man.
Week 3 though. Week 3 is really like what deflated us as a football community. The 70-20 loss to Miami. Man, we both predicted they were going to lose that game, but not like that, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not like that. That one. Whew, I still have nightmares about that. We really missed the mark on how bad of a loss that was going to be.
The fact that Vance Joseph wasn't fired after that game is beyond me.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about Vance Joseph here in a bit. I kind of want to go through the list here because the storylines for the Broncos this year was real. And like you were saying, like the Vance Joseph get him out of here narratives really started to around this time, and against Chicago, it really started to like become evident, like, get this guy out of here. What are we doing? He stinks. And that sentiment kind of got buried a little bit as we progressed through the season, but I still think it's true. Get him out. Chicago is the first win of the Broncos season, which we all kind of expected, right? Chicago, early 23, Justin Fields.
And what do I always say about Justin Fields?
Don't
always bet.
Always bet he'll lose, right?
Yep.
Well, here's the thing, and this kind of piled onto the Vance Joseph sentiment, right? In the first half, Justin Fields looked like a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. He didn't throw an incompletion until the very last play of the second quarter, where they were attempting a Hail Mary because fuck it. You know,
that was in Chicago too, right?
Yeah, that was in Chicago, and man, we couldn't force an incompletion. They were just running wild all over our defense, and then we got lucky. You know, we got a really good defensive play, strip sack for fumble, got him right as his arms, moving before it was forward, so he just kind of lost it and was able to run it back in. Like if that doesn't get ran in, then we don't win that game. Because I don't have faith in our offense to be able to score there. And it's not like they were playing great against that Chicago defense, that porous Chicago defense.
Mm-hmm. At that time of the year, they were bad. By the end of the year, their defense was actually one of the best in the league. Yeah. But yeah, at that time still, it was
bad. Them. Like that was when like the fire Eberflus was at its peak too, because the Bears were winless at that point. That week it was the battle of the first round pick teams is what everybody said, where it was the Vikings, the Broncos, the Bears, and the Panthers all battling for who could stay winless. And I believe after that week it was the Bears and Panthers who stayed winless, and the Vikings went on to almost make the playoffs as well. Like we let's not forget that one. Like the Vikings almost made the playoffs there,
almost.
So
as much as Kirk Cousins showing up shirtless on New Year's Eve with his son to blow that stupid ass horn, as much as he wanted to will that team into the playoffs, there was no fucking chance. I hope you enjoyed making it in for a year and losing to Danny Dimes and giving him a good contract, Vikings. But you know what? That was a nice year in the playoffs.
Let's talk.
And
about
you won't be there for a while
second.
now.
Let's talk about that for a second. New York has Minnesota to thank for that albatross of a Danny Dimes contract.
They do. It's crazy, man.
And $40 million a year to be that guy.
Yep.
That is the testament of, like, people say, like, oh, you can still make so much money in the NFL just by being, like, terrible. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why people say that contract right there. Thanks, Minnesota, for
Vikings,
fucking ruining the quarterback market for the rest of us.
Kirk throwing 2 yards on 4th and 8, never forget.
That play is to blame. Kirk throwing a check down is the reason why Daniel Jones has money.
Yep. And also, before we move off the Bears game, Eberflus is still the head coach. So I just want to thank the Chicago Bears organization personally as a Packers fan. Thank you so much for keeping him around. And I really hope you keep Justin Fields around too. I really fucking hope you do. I hope you trade away from the first pick. You don't draft a quarterback. Invest anything and everything you can into Justin Fields. Please, for the love of fucking God, do it. Please.
So what do you think of Marvin Harrison Jr., right? First pick overall.
I don't fucking care. Yeah, he can go there and ruin his career.
he can go there and catch 50 passes because Justin Fields stinks. So yeah.
Please, Bears, please, for the love of God, just keep Fields and keep your whole staff as far as I'm concerned. Just fucking keep it going.
All right, talking about keeping staff, let's talk about the Jets, right? The Aaron Rodgers comes to Denver, but not because he's hurt, right?
Zach Wilson.
boy, that game. I remember this one distinctly. I was working, as I often do on Sunday. So I went across the parking lot to the bar after work to watch this game. I watched like the second quarter of the game before going home. We went home at halftime, and at the end of that game, at the end of the first half, it didn't look good, but there was hope, right? It was like, oh, it's still a close game. We still got a chance here. This is going to be like a hard-fought game. Third quarter comes as it usually does after halftime in a football game, and there goes our hope, right? This was a fumble fest, first of all. Like, when they build Denver's new stadium, I know they said they want to put a dome on it, but for the love of all that is holy, don't make it face the sun for an 2:00 game, because golly, the muffed punts in Denver, we've got to have a record out of that game. It was ridiculous. But we watched Russell Wilson fumble that one away, just like we all knew he would. That was still, we can't beat our former coaches. That was the narrative for the Broncos. We lost to Josh McDaniels in week 1, coached the Broncos in, I believe, 2009 and in 2010. And then we lose to Ron Rivera's Commanders with Jack Del Rio as a defensive coordinator, also a former Broncos defensive coordinator. We lose to the Miami team that had our former ball boy and Mike McDaniels as the head coach, and our former head coach Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. We go to the Bears, nothing there, nothing special. Bears are the Bears, whatever. We won anyway. And then we go to the Jets. Nathaniel Hackett's returned to Denver and just shit the bed. We shit the bed. That that should have been a wake-up call for our team. Like, Nathaniel Hackett just came in here and made y'all look like fools. The offense didn't play well, but it made it look like he wasn't the problem with our offense because we still stunk it up the same way we had been.
Yeah.
And
ironically enough, we both had the Broncos losing to the Jets, but that's because we thought Aaron Rodgers was just going to throw it all over the field and cook them, but he didn't even. That's sweet. Yeah,
I thought that one was going to be like, if we were going to win it, it was going to be like a shootout. No, it was just who could fumble the ball least is who won that game. Literally, that's all it took. Who could hold on to it more.
Little did we know that the Broncos wake-up call would be coming very soon.
Actually, yeah, I know. Like,
in 2 weeks,
it didn't look like there was exactly a lot of hope for this team. As Broncos fans, we were like, phone it in, get a high pick, get Wilson out, fire Vance Joseph, get him out of here. And we go to play the Chiefs for our annual ass kicking in Arrowhead. And I don't really have much else to say about it. It's our annual ass kicking in Arrowhead.
I love the alliteration there. That's clutch.
Yeah. Something about that game had to be clutch. That's all I got to say about it, man. Just we can't beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. However, what we can do is we can move over to Buffalo, right? We can go down to Buffalo on Monday night after a bye week and that's not it. I skipped one.
Dude, you're skipping weeks, man.
I was looking at the other Kansas City game.
You're skipping the game that turned the tide. The game that turned the tide. The game that we were both
at. Yeah.
The game where you were wearing two teams' jerseys and taking it off depending on who had the ball.
I have pictures on Facebook to prove it where whoever had the ball, I had the jersey. I had the Rodgers on, put the Wilson on over it. So I couldn't lose in that game. And boy, the people in my section let me know. I had Broncos fans and Packers fans shoot me dirty looks in that one. It's like, what do you want from me? It's a 50-50 split. Whoever has got the ball is who I care to win. And Jordan Love threw that game away.
Yeah, literally. You know what? Pause for a second. Remember, like early in the year, early in the podcast, our podcast, when we were talking about like stadiums and stuff. Yes. Like we kind of talked about stadiums for a little bit. I need to say something about, and I'm sure it's more than just Mile High, but these NFL stadiums, the upper decks are fucking steep, dude. Those seats are steep. We witnessed in my section. We witnessed a grown-ass man. The dude was probably 400 pounds in a Reggie White jersey, Packers fan. He jumped up to celebrate one of the touchdowns, and he turned around to give people in RO a high five. And as he did that, he lost his balance, and he fell backwards, and he went about 10 rows down, and it was like a bowling ball. Pins. Yeah, I didn't personally see the look on his face, but my brother and a friend said it was like, right before he fell, you could just see like the impending doom look in his eyes, like, oh shit. I understand, like, you want to pack as many people into these stadiums as possible, but when you get a bunch of alcohol involved before the game and you're selling it in the stadium and you get dudes, hiking Everest basically to get up to their seat, it's a recipe for disaster, man. And I know there was a death. There was a death there a few years ago on like a primetime game.
I think it was more than a few years ago. I feel like it was like in 2016. Or something like
that.
I think it was actually the after we won the Super Bowl, it was that Thursday night game that opened the season. I think that's when it happened when Cam Newton came back to Denver and lost again to a 7th round draft pick.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say that, and I also wanted to say, let's get some I want to get some responses in the comments. Is it okay to swear at a professional sporting event? I
Oh,
just need to know because I got called out by a Broncos fan saying that I should not be swearing in front of her two daughters that were at the game. So, professional sporting
oh,
event, public space.
this is a good one.
I need to know in the comments. Let me know what you think because
This is a
I
good one.
have sworn at many, many, many professional sporting events, and I've never had anybody say anything to me. So just
That's a
want to
good
just
one.
want to throw that out there. Just want to
First of
throw that out
all,
there.
with how steep the stadium is, Mile High and Arrowhead, I believe, are the only stadiums like this. But they've got like a wave in the top, in the upper deck. So like part of that upper deck is like up there. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
high. It's not like Buffalo where it's like flat, or like the Met where it's just like flat all the way around. Like it's like a wave. It goes like up. And Arrowhead does the same thing. And it's like sometimes it blows my mind how many rows are actually up there.
dude. I think there's like at least there's almost 40 rows up top in Mile High. I don't know about Arrowhead, but yeah, I was thinking the same thing too at Arrowhead when I was watching the Chiefs a few weeks ago. Like just looking at that upper deck, I'm like, because like you come out of the tunnel like and you're a quarter of the way up, and then it's like a ton of just rows of, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you fall like that guy, like he's lucky. I mean, those people that he clobbered saved his life. Like,
Yeah.
if there would have been nobody there, he would have just rolled and rolled, and he would have went right over the edge and probably landed on some people. It was fucking
Oh,
crazy, man.
jeez. See,
It was fun.
I was down by the end zone, and it's flatter there. It's not like a baseball field flat where like the step is like a half step and the rows are like barely over each
Yeah,
other. But it's still like way much flatter. I didn't even think about how steep the upper decks are. I've never sat up there, so I have no idea what it's like to like have to
it's
climb that. How
lawless,
steep
dude.
it is.
It's lawless up there.
Yeah, I'm
Getting yelled
sure.
at for swearing. Dudes are
It's the lack of
falling.
it's lack of oxygen, man. It's all missing with y'all.
Yeah, we're all a little
Hey,
bit lightheaded up there.
yeah, I mean you're already a mile high, and then you add what, like another 500 feet. It's up there.
But yeah,
But
game
that was
overall was a good time. Tailgating was a good time. But yeah, love literally threw it
the
away.
first half was slow, but things picked up.
Yeah.
Things picked up.
So
Now we
and
go and
then
talk about the game that I care the most about this season. I called it at the beginning in our predictions episode. I said the Chiefs were gonna lose to the Broncos in the year of our Lord 2023, and I was right. We finally did it. We finally
the
did it.
year of our Lord.
We
The year of our
finally
Lord.
did it.
Yeah.
No more
What
streak.
a what an accomplishment. What an accomplishment.
And the
You
way
know
we
you
did
know what
it,
that's
it
you know
wasn't like a close game. We hurt them. That was the beginning of the Chiefs' downfall right there.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Like
Yeah.
losing to us shattered the empire, man. Like we just blew up the Death Star. That's what we did. We like they come in here and they're like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes is sick, boo hoo." They knew they were about to get their ass stomped on. They knew it. They knew it. So they had to get the narratives going early. Oh, we had our receivers, or Travis Kelce and Mahomes. They're both they're both sick. Oh, shut up. No, we won. We won. It's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
We didn't allow an offensive touchdown. It's fine. We didn't allow any touchdowns. We didn't need to. They I'm gonna bask in this one for a long while. This was a good game to watch. I wish
Yeah.
instead of the Packers game I was at this one. This one would have meant more, I think. Instead of
Dude, and
watching one
it's
of my
funny.
teams lose, I would have been able to just bask in the glory of the streak finally coming to the end, knowing that I was right.
You know what's funny about that game too? Typical Colorado fashion. At the Packers game, we were out there in t-shirt and shorts. It was like
Yeah.
70 degrees and sunny. And then the next weekend, like if those games would
It's
have been
like
reversed, we would have been
23
in the
degrees
snow.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Just absolutely insane how quick that weather shifted
It
there.
was, boy,
And
was it a turnaround.
and so they ended up going to Buffalo, right? And they won that game too.
I want to talk about the Buffalo game a little bit. We didn't win in Buffalo.
Oh, they didn't. Okay. I
Buffalo
thought they won like 5 in a
lost.
row.
They did. The stat sheet says we won
Oh, I
because
got
it
you.
can't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that Buffalo lost. There is no reason on planet Earth that there should ever be 12 men on a field right there.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
for those who are unfamiliar, we had a tight match with Buffalo. Came down to the fourth quarter. Josh Allen did Josh Allen things by turning the ball over and scoring miraculous touchdowns. Russell Wilson threw one of the most improbable touchdowns of all time to Cortland Sutton. And all of a sudden here we're locked in a game where a field goal can win it or lose it. And Will Lutz, in typical Will Lutz fashion towards the beginning of the season, botched it real good. But alas, some Bill was off in the distance, moseying along, and was called for 12 men on the field. We get a re-kick, we nail it, we move on, Buffalo loses, and Denver gets a false sense of security, like, we just beat two really good teams. We might be cooking, right? We just beat Green Bay and two good teams. Turns out all three of those teams are playoff teams, but we started to get some false hope here. This is where the narratives of hope start to come out, and boy, it's we had something going.
Yeah. And then the next game was the Sunday night game against Minnesota, which they also ended up taking down because typical Vikings fashion, just losing as they normally do. That's kind of funny. You know what's interesting? I'm looking at our predictions too, and we had them losing all 4 of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Packers through the Vikings. We had them losing all. Both of us was like, we didn't think they stood a chance at all. Or wait, actually, no, you picked them to beat the Chiefs actually, but
damn right.
Other than that, the rest of them we were wrong, and I projected for them to lose all 4 of those games. So you actually got one right. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
The Minnesota game, death by field goals. That's what it was. You know, we didn't score a touchdown in that game till the fourth quarter, and we absolutely had to. And then for somehow, some way, Russell Wilson did Russell Wilson things and dropped one in a bucket on Cortland Sutton. So that was an interesting one because that's when the Josh Dobbs Pasternaut narratives were taking off. They just won 2 in a row. He looked like he was unstoppable with the Vikings. Like Kirk Cousins was out, and man, it was looking good for the Vikings up until about the third quarter of that game, and then it was like, oh, they have a defense, and Josh Dobbs is a backup quarterback to a backup quarterback. So moving on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering too, just for the interest of time, if we speed through the last of these, if we're gonna go through the entire Green Bay schedule too.
With Cleveland, that was just a good game. I think that was overall Denver's best game of the year. Like legitimately, if not the Chiefs game, it was this game. This was just overall like a dominant team effort, and it showed on the scoreboard. By the way, 29 to I believe it was 12. The first time that's ever happened in NFL history. That was the first time that score had ever taken place. Anyway, moving on. Texans, bro. This was Russell Wilson. This is the downside of Russell Wilson right here. He's going to throw a pick when it matters most, or he's going to throw a touchdown when it matters most. There's no in between. It's nobody else. It's always going to be on him. And this was just a game where he didn't get it to Cortland, and it just underthrown, picked off in the end zone. Game over. We lose. This game had more wild card implications than anybody would have ever thought. But we both thought that the Texans were going to stink.
Yeah, but CJ Stroud has proved us wrong now that he's in the playoffs.
He's proved everyone wrong, man. All right, after that, we've got the Chargers, who we give a hand, like a steady ass kicking. Justin Herbert's season's over now, and which stinks for the Chargers. But I think that's also, it was a necessary evil to get rid of Brandon Staley for them. Like he goes out in this game with a broken finger along those lines, and that was almost the nail in the coffin of Brandon Staley.
Jim Harbaugh next year.
Belichick next year, maybe. I don't know.
I'm hearing Harbaugh too.
Vrabel's out there. Pete Carroll, if he decides he doesn't want to be an executive,
Yeah, I got you.
There's some stuff that happened around the league. There are some good coaches out there. If you were going to hire a coach, this year would be the year to do it. There is some talent available. All right, we got the Lions. Can we not talk about this game?
Next.
This is when I knew our season was over. I'll just say that. watching this game, I watched the Broncos season end. We didn't get eliminated in this game, but mentally they were out. And that's all there was to it. Then we get who do we get next?
The Patriots.
The Patriots, with the loudest doink heard around the world. Oh my goodness. I know I've never heard a doink so deep fried before. Oh my god.
Deep fried doink.
Deep fried doink. That's the deep fried doink game. Christmas Eve, prime time, Rich Eisen on the call, and we lay an egg. Again, the bad side of Russell Wilson and the bad side of Sean Payton's coaching, where if Cortland Sutton isn't on the field, Russell Wilson can't just throw long balls. It's just straight incompletions. And it's the deep fried doink game. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't heard that doink yet, then you're clearly not a football fan, because it's been everywhere in football media. Go listen to it. It sounds it's beautiful. The Chargers. We sweep them this year. They stink. We also stunk in this game. Russell Wilson got benched before this game for Jared Stidham, because they want to kick Russell out. They want him out, and so they're messing with his money by not letting him play these next 2 years, so he doesn't get hurt, or the last 2 weeks of the season, so he doesn't get hurt, so they don't have to pay him in 2025. We all know the narrative. This was the first game. Stidham stinks. Moving on to the Raiders, where our season was over, and we played like our season was over. It's that simple. We can't beat the Raiders now. The new streak is the Raiders. I believe it's 8 straight we've lost to them. And now we're going to have to hear about that every time they play each other. And I can't wait for us to break that streak next year. It's going to happen with whoever's at quarterback. Doesn't matter. We're ending streaks. That's what Sean Payton's era is all about. Just ending streaks. That's all it is. We're going to draft a good quarterback. And we're going to finally have a good quarterback that we actually drafted and not just taken from the Colts.
Can't wait for the Six Flags carousel to pay another visit on the on the next game, the next CBS game next year, week 1. Speaking of streaks, you know what's worse than losing 8 straight times to a team? Losing 9 straight times to a team as of week 1.
Are you thinking what I'm think you're thinking with the Bears?
The Bears
fucking stink.
Trash.
They are so bad.
Trash. Absolute trash.
This game did nothing but make us laugh at the Bears.
Yep, and we all knew it was going to happen because the best time of year for Bears fans is the offseason. It's the time of year, which actually now is for them, coincidentally, and it's been that way for weeks. But the whole offseason, all I ever hear is, we're going to win the division. It's our year. All this BS. Like, I think some fucking analyst had them going 12-5 and had Justin Fields winning MVP. Are you fucking kidding me?
The Justin Fields MVP nods before week 1 were hilarious.
Exactly. How much crack did you smoke, sir? Because that is the dumbest take I've heard in my fucking lifetime. Absolute trash. Yeah, that game was an easy W. Fucking at it was in Chicago. Yeah, in Chicago. Jordan Love went in there and just said he's going to be a minority owner here with Aaron Rodgers too. So yeah, 9 losses in a row is worse than 8. So you're not as bad as the Bears. Yep. And then sadly came the next week against Atlanta, where Jordan Love played like shit. The Packers defense made that quarterback look like the second coming of Christ. For whatever reason.
I want to talk about this game because when it happened, I didn't realize the implications of Green Bay's season. Like, this game, these 2 games were Green Bay's season in a nutshell, right? Aaron Jones plays in Chicago. They dominate. Aaron Jones doesn't play against Atlanta. Dog shit. Just can't get anything going offensively. Little did we know that would be the Packers season in a nutshell. Like, people give Jordan Love a lot of credit for what was going on. Like, yeah, he had a great season. He had a statistically better season than Aaron Rodgers' first season. But when it comes to like what we were able to do offensively, like if it wasn't for Aaron Jones in our run game, I don't think Jordan Love has the opportunity to play that well. Like I haven't seen it from him when the defense can pin their ears back and just get after him and lock down guys. I haven't seen it from where we can play under that. But when we have a run game going, like who we look out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, very frustrating 1-point loss. And at the time, again, it was definitely a winnable game. And especially early in the season, this is the trend that you are going to see from the Packers, is just throwing away winnable fucking games that were one score, whether it's by interceptions or missed field goals or missed extra points, whatever the fuck it is. It's just like absolute shambles for the first half of the season. Like the next week, the Packers won because the Saints missed a fucking chip shot field goal. So they won by 1 point, and that's fucking hilarious. I think it was 1 point. That was a gutsy game. Derek Carr goes out early. Saints fans cry and say it was all because of Derek Carr leaving the game that they lost. It's like, no, your kicker just sucks ass. I'm sorry. You had a chance to win. Fuck you. Next game. Yep. You know, it's like, and then
make a kick,
which we all predict.
Then you can't cry.
Yeah. And then in probably the worst game of the season on the short week against Detroit, getting blown out at home.
This was a rough
in prime
this
time.
One was over in the first quarter.
Yep, and that's all I want to say about it. Then
I want to say though, like this, I wasn't upset losing this game because it was such a blowout. It wasn't a close game. I was upset.
We knew they were going to lose it
because ESPN fantasy app didn't put Montgomery in my starting lineup like I told it to. And he went out and scored like 34 fantasy points that night. That's why I was pissed about that game. That was upsetting. But
he did go off.
That game, we all knew it was happening. We all knew Detroit was going to take out a couple of years worth of aggression on the Green Bay this year. And I mean, look out. They had nothing left in the tank for when we played them again. So
yeah. And then the Packers go to Vegas, and in Jordan Love fashion again, early season Jordan Love, he throws an interception to lose the game to Christian Watson. Yep. Very winnable game. Did Jimmy G start and then he got hurt? Or no, maybe he didn't play. I don't remember.
I think he finished the game. I can't honestly remember because this game was so insignificant to me. Like by the time I got home from work, the Packers were already like, oh, they're probably losing this one. Because also, like, let's talk about the defense here in this one. Boy, they could not, like, when it mattered most, they had a break but not bend mentality in this game.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't play terribly the entire night. It's just when it mattered.
Yeah, but again, Jordan Love, final drive, has a chance to win the game, and he throws a pick. Yeah. Packers follow that up with a bye week. Then they go to Denver. Then Jordan Love does the same exact thing.
Yep.
Kicker missed a field goal. Yep. Missed a field goal earlier in the game. Yep. Jordan Love throws an interception on a meaningless pass.
Yep.
Rushing it when they had way too much time left. Very frustrating. And at this point, me and Jared's takes on Jordan Love are looking like fucking prime. Like, this dude's trash. He's a scrub. He's just throwing away games. Has like zero fucking awareness. Zero game management capabilities. You know, it's like just brutal. And then the next week got even worse with the Vikings coming into Lambeau, blowing out the Packers. And the only really meaningful take from that game is Kirk Cousins tearing his Achilles.
Yeah, that one was tough to watch. Like let's talk about the league for a minute. By this point, like not a lot of, like a lot of quarterbacks were missing games, but like not a lot of them were like ow. And it seemed like this was the tip of this was the straw that broke the camel's back. After this Kirk Cousins injury, it seemed like guys were going down left, right, and center. Like I believe it was there was a season-ending injury from this week for like the next 4 weeks to starting quarterbacks.
Yep.
It was hard to watch.
Absolutely. Absolute shambles. Yeah, I mean, they got blown out at home. The fans were booing them. If I was there, I would have done the same damn thing. So then the next week, the Rams came to Lambeau, and that was one of the ugliest fucking games I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, my goodness.
So many turnovers. The Rams rolled in like their third string or some dude that was like selling beer in the concession aisle before the game. They just brought his ass down, and he was their quarterback. And they still managed to like put up some points. Packers won, and at the time, I was like, well, they won the game because it was this other quarterback like couldn't do anything because he's like used to asking if you want a Miller or a Coors, and here he has to like, you know, get plays from a coach and like look for different reads, just wasn't capable at all of even comprehending on how to play football that day.
I think
It's the only
if
reason the
Matthew
Packers
Stafford,
won.
we lose.
Oh, dude, Stafford would have cooked that defense 100%. Um, then the next week they go to Pittsburgh. This is where, oh man, I like want to puke saying this. Like I don't know if my mouth can take it. I don't know if my stomach can take it. But this was a game where Jordan Love, he started becoming serviceable and he started managing the game better. They lost the game, but I didn't think it was because of Love in this game.
Letdown. What a letdown. Oh no, give the man some credit. Give the man that was like a Skip Bayless answer. Like, I wasn't wrong, I was just half wrong. Like, no. Come on now. Don't be doing that. Give the man some credit. This is the point in the season where he started to figure it out. This is the point in the season where he went from, oh, this guy stinks, to more like, wait a minute.
He was serviceable. He was serviceable.
All right, Skip Bayless. All right.
They lost the game. He was serviceable. Then the Chargers come to Lambeau the following week. Herbert was playing. I feel like he had an injury of some kind.
He was dealing with a finger injury for like half the season.
And Keenan Allen was cooking, I'm pretty sure. He was absolutely cooking the Packers for a little while, but the Packers managed to win that game.
I want to talk about that game from the Chargers standpoint. That game highlighted how badly coached that team is. There were wide open looks. This is why I feel for Justin Herbert, because that guy, he was hitting guys in the numbers and they were dropping passes. And
Keenan Allen dropped a touchdown too, actually. If my memory serves me correct.
In the numbers. And it's not like he was standing fucking still and it hit him right in the chest. And he drops it. That was the Chargers chargering if I've ever seen the Chargers charger before.
Yep. Oh, man. And then for some reason, the NFL decided, hey, both times the Packers play the Lions, let's make it on a short week. And the Lions are the best team in the division. Well, the tides are different, my friend. And I even said, when we made our predictions, I said the Packers were winning this game, and they fucking took it to Detroit, dude. I'm talking early 10:30 start, Thanksgiving Day. Mimosas are out. Me and my pops are drinking fucking mimosas. We're just getting ready to start the Thanksgiving party shenanigans. And the Packers, boy, did they treat us well. Man, they fucking kicked Detroit's ass that game. It was so much fun to watch.
Do you want to say it or should I say it?
Say what?
Jordan Love. I'm telling you. Ooh,
man,
these
remember
these takes are starting to not be quite so hot, aren't they?
I remember the receivers getting open and him somehow managing to get the ball there somehow.
Managing. Have some respect. Respect, man. Those mimosas must have been strong if you want to say somehow. That guy he's starting to look kind of like vintage Aaron Rodgers. Just saying, God. Man. Going on Thanksgiving, going and teaching the Detroit football team how to lose again. Man, that game opened a door of whoop ass for Detroit, and man, they didn't recover until they played the Broncos. But boy, man, that was a game for Mr. QB1 there in Green Bay, huh?
Side note: the only reason I feel bad for Jordan Love on that day, I don't want to talk. I'm talking shit about him, even though he played okay. But Fox, for the love of no, hang on. Fox, for the love of fucking God, where's the turkey legs? Every other network that day had turkey legs for the winners. Yeah. Fucking Greg Olson stuck his face into a goddamn turducken and was off air for 20 minutes while he chowed that thing down, but they couldn't find a turkey leg. You know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
That Fox had a turkey prepared, but before the game they branded the Lions logo into the turkey. and so they couldn't bring it out. That's the conspiracy theory.
That's just such
And
a
so,
stupid thing that I could totally see it being real.
dude,
It's
and
so dumb it probably happened.
dude, it definitely happened. Fox, come on. Like I feel like every other year I've watched the Lions play on Fox in that morning game. There's been a turkey leg for the winners.
I feel like
So
there
you
has
really
been
dropped
too.
you really dropped the ball on that. And we'll shout out NBC later because they kind of redeemed the Packers on another holiday. Um,
Did
but
you
yeah,
see the 49ers win on Thanksgiving night? And did you like see like how they were getting their turkey legs? Like, man, they're like that team is a bunch of kids. Seriously. That team is a bunch of 9-year-olds running around in pro football player bodies. Like that was when they
dude, I
beat
was
Seattle the way
there.
they did. They got their turkey legs, man. Like Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, they are just fun people to watch.
Yeah, no,
The energy
the
in that
IPAs
room
were
must
hitting
be
them.
off the fucking charts.
IPAs were hitting by that night game. So you know.
Oh man.
Um, But yeah, so happy Thanksgiving there. Great, great. And then next week, Sunday night, Chiefs come into town. Patrick Mahomes' first time playing at Lambeau, and he took a big fat L. Thank you, MVS, for still not being able to catch a fucking ball. I'm so glad
All
you're not on
right.
the Packers anymore. I'm so glad every time a fucking dart gets thrown your way, I don't have to like wonder if you're gonna catch it or not. Good riddance and goodbye. I'm so fucking glad. The
So
officiating in the last 2 minutes of that game was fucking seriously like they just like all of a sudden they were just incompetent officials.
yeah.
They called like a penalty on Mahomes being in bounds, like an unsportsmanlike conduct when the Packers hit him in bounds. That shouldn't have
Yeah,
happened.
that
The no
100%
the
shouldn't
no
have happened.
call pass interference shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Like just absolute shambles officiating.
Like I'm
But
comfortable enough
also
as a Green Bay fan knowing that my team made the playoffs. Um, that should have been pass interference.
it should have been, but it was the makeup. There was a makeup no call because they called the penalty on Green Bay earlier in the drive. And
And
MVS got, or not MVS, and there's a player, Chiefs player that got pushed out of bounds backwards, and they stopped the clock and didn't run the clock. So the
yeah.
Chiefs had so many so many helpful things go their way in that last drive. That one PI call, it's like, nah, you had so many other opportunities. Fuck off.
Well, that's
So
the
glad,
thing.
so
Like,
glad to see Mahomes lose.
um, don't get me wrong. Every time Mahomes loses, I become a little bit more happy inside, just innately. Um, but like if you can't if one call like that can't determine a game, right? Um, the ones that the ones that I really see are like the ones that are egregious, so like the offsides versus like with the Bills and the Chiefs with Tony's foot. Um, that has to
Yeah,
be called. Like
it does. Yeah,
that has to be called.
Mahomes is
The
a
one with Dallas and Detroit, the eligible receiver nonsense, that sort of thing. Like that's what we're letting determine games. Like why can't we
yeah,
pick that flag up? Like why is there no accountability for the refs? Like that pass interference should have been thrown, and
yeah,
it determined a game. You know, like if the penalty's there, yeah, it's there, right? But like if it's not there, why are we not allowed to pick these up? Why is there no accountability there? That's what I want. It's not necessarily about like one call going this way, one call going the other way. Like what should you or should you not call? It's like if it's there, call it, right? But if it's not, why can
yeah,
we not pick it up? Like why can't we just look at that as an officiating crew and go, oh, he's if I forget who was covering on the play there, but like if he was any more on the Chiefs player, he would have been inside of his jersey.
yeah.
So I'm glad we won. I'm glad it was a no call because the refs are stooges, but um, we can't be letting like things that shouldn't be called still continue to stand. Like there's got to be a way to look at things like that or like a no call and like come on, isn't that PI? Like there's got to be some sort of review system for penalties. Like that's how you fix it because this is one of the games that is used on the NFL is rigged. This is like one of the top 3 games that are being used for the NFL is rigged
Mm,
because of shit like just unexplainably bad reffing.
mm. Reffing or not, she's sticking now. Fuck off, Mahomes. Next,
Yeah.
on to the next week, and it's crazy now because you go into it's a Monday night game. You're going into New York to play the
Yep. Oh
Giants,
man.
uh, and you had just beaten Herbert Goff, and Mahomes in 3 weeks straight. And so now you're thinking like, oh, maybe the season has taken a turn. Maybe the tides have turned. And then you give fucking DeVito, whatever that fucking guy's
Danny
name was,
DeVito.
like was it Danny? His name is Danny too.
I don't know. I don't think so. It just the alliteration
I was
makes me
like,
laugh.
that's an actor, but yeah, something Tony DeVito, wasn't it?
Something like that. I don't know. Not because we
But
don't know his name, the mob's gonna show up and just end our whole world.
dude,
But yeah, no.
we let some guy off the street absolutely cook on his way to a win.
Let's add to the embarrassment here. Some guy still living in his mom's house as an NFL player.
Yes.
That's how little of a career he has. He still lives at home with mom and dad as an NFL player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he cooks. And then the not just plays well, cooks the Green Bay.
Another Jordan Love masterclass in this game.
You're just looking for excuses.
I think he was still high off the Chiefs win, that he never left Wisconsin, if we're being honest.
This game this game would have been a win if Matt LaFleur knew how to call plays for 2-point conversions.
True.
I don't think that was at all Jordan Love's fault. Like that, there was some like unexplainably dumb calls from Matt LaFleur in this game, where it's like the read option, end around, jet sweep shit ain't working. It hasn't worked all game. What are you gonna do when you have a chance to just put these clowns away and actually just get out and escape with a win? What do? You run the shit that's not been working all day and get it absolutely blown up by a defense that knew it was coming. Like, why? I don't know why you would ever call that there. Like, yeah, Jaden Reed is a great player, but what is he supposed to do? Turn invisible and just warp to the goal line?
Yeah,
shit wasn't working. LaFleur, what are you doing?
Oh man. And then yeah, and then the next 2 weeks against the Bucks and the Panthers were just Joe Barry masterclasses. I don't think Baker Mayfield had an incompletion until the fourth quarter, and I think he had a perfect QBR. Absolutely cooked the Packers defense. And then the Panthers game, the only reason the Packers
he baked it.
He baked it, yeah.
he baked it.
Touche. And then the next week, Christmas Eve. Was it Christmas Eve? The only reason the Packers won that game is because the clock ran out. Another Joe Barry masterclass, letting the worst team in the league put up like 30 points on you is just pathetic.
Like historically bad quarterback play offense with a fire, because I believe Reich had already been fired at that point.
Yep.
And
then
here's the kicker. The next 2 weeks after that, they don't score a point. Carolina. Right. They didn't score a point for the last 2 weeks of the season. So like the last time that terrible team scored points, I believe, was against Green Bay.
Yeah.
That's
Joe Barry masterclass. Dude. I really wanted him fired after that game. I don't understand why he's still around.
Well, here's what I'm afraid of is he's still gonna have a job because we made the playoffs.
No way. There's no fucking way.
Dude, I don't know, man. They're a year behind when it comes to like personnel decisions over there. Green Bay.
Yeah. The only reason they made the playoffs is because
Jordan Love
in the following week, Kirk Cousins wasn't playing. And then you got it to go against Justin Fields in last week. But yeah, week 17, New Year's Eve.
I've got.
I was sick.
New Year's Eve with the Green
Bay. I have to sick as a dog. Yeah, I was sick as a dog. Watching the game from my brother's couch. Nice blowout. That's the shirtless Kirk Cousins blowing the horn. His son's up there too, shirtless. Which I don't know what the fuck. I don't understand, dude.
That was Brady and son vibes going on.
That was so cringe. I wanted to just throw up, and I wasn't even like nauseous sick. I was like head sick, and I still wanted to throw up because that was just so cringe.
So in my fantasy,
the skull chant.
I needed to, in order to not get last in my fantasy league, I needed Aaron Jones to score about 10 points, and I needed Justin Jefferson to be held under 10. And Green Bay's defense, I don't know what was going on with Justin Jefferson, but Green Bay's defense locked him down, and Aaron Jones showed up, put up like 14 points, and I was able to escape my fantasy fate and survive not having to do the punishment for my league. So Joe Barry, you let me down all season, but when it mattered most, and I didn't want to do my fantasy punishment, your guys came through, and Justin Jefferson couldn't get it done. So I owe you a thank you, Green Bay.
That's because their quarterback couldn't see down the field. So
I didn't watch the game because I was in California. All I was doing was just keeping track of that score, and that number would creep up. Jefferson was getting some, and I'm like, oh no, stop him, and Green Bay held. He didn't finish me off. So Green Bay, defense, you did one thing right this year.
I still stand by it. The skull chant is just a bunch of dying seals clapping, and the horn makes it even that more cringe. So, congratulations, Vikings fans.
You were toxic today. I love it.
Dude, I fucking hate the Vikings, man. Just absolute trash. And then the next week, you know what's even worse than or losing 9 games in a row to a team, Jared? You know what's even worse than that?
Double digits,
losing
baby.
10.
Double digits.
And that's exactly what Justin Fields
slap a zero
and the Bears
on that
did.
bitch. Double digits.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Justin Fields, he was trying to talk some shit midweek, saying the only thing there is to do in Green Bay is watch football.
Well,
you know what, sir? You may be right about that. But in Green Bay, we watch winning football. We don't have to go to Chicago and watch you take L's. You fucking suck, dude. You were the worst. It was so fucking hilarious watching him try to throw the football last Sunday. It was just fucking comical. There was a point where I think it was the end of one of the quarters where I don't even think he realized that the quarter was ending. The refs blew the whistle, and they literally showed his face, and he looked like a deer in the headlights, looking around like, wait, what's going on? That dude doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that a quarter is ending, and you expect him to fucking lead your team. And it's funny because a few weeks before that, Bears fans were chanting, "We want Justin," and you know what? Please keep chanting it. I fucking hope you keep. Sign him to a Patrick Mahomes deal. Give him all the money you possibly can. I want him around for at least 10 to 20 years. As long as a mortgage. Just keep taking L's.
Just eat it up, you fucking fools.
The Packers fucking made it into the playoffs in a win in your in scenario against Chicago.
Yep.
And I don't think there's ever a doubt in my goddamn mind that they weren't going to win that game.
Yeah, I saw they were playing the Bears and went, hey, we're making the playoffs.
Yep.
And let's pay homage where it's due. Who had an 85%
Aaron Jones,
complete? Who had an 85%
Aaron Jones
percentage?
Over 100 yards in 2 games in a row, dude. Aaron Jones.
I think you're missing something, though. I think you're missing just straight up efficiency from the thrower of the football position. I think you're missing something there. There's a special guy who might just be it in Green Bay, and I think that somebody owes somebody an apology.
Win the Super Bowl and I'll apologize.
Everybody is making fun of the Packers, right? We have 2 generationally good quarterbacks. We only have 2 Super Bowls to show for it. And so they're pissed off because we might have number 3 in a row. And they're saying we're going to just have 1 Super Bowl to show for 45 years worth of great quarterback play.
I will say that the hype videos that have came out this week, like hyping up Jordan Love to be like the next one. It's
been funny to watch.
The hype videos they're fucking fire. The hype videos are fire. I'm not on the train yet. I'm probably still in the car, like at my house, deciding if I need to leave for the station yet. Like I'm still that far away on him. Like it's like, do I want to get on this train for this 10-hour trip, or do I just want to go back inside and sit on my couch? So, like, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like,
this was year 4, right, for Justin Fields. This was year 4 because he sat for 3 years under Rodgers. Do I have that?
You
correct?
Mean Jordan Love?
Yeah, Jordan Love.
It's okay to get their play mixed up sometimes. I mean, Jordan Love's thrown some games too, so I totally understand. I get the mix up there.
So toxic, I love it. But no, if I'm Green Bay, I'm taking the 5th-year option because he's on his contract and say, do it again and then pay him, right? Lock him up, get him as a Packer for a while. But like that's it. Like he's got, like, we've seen the upside. He's got it. We see what the coaching staff is and the scouts saw in him to draft him, to keep him around, to hand him the keys while you push out a Hall of Fame quarterback. we've seen the potential. It's there, but I think it's still potential, right? And so when it comes to the Jordan Love train, it's like put it together for another season, have another good season, and you're the guy, right? It's like, I know he's not a rookie because he sat under Rodgers, but he's for in all intents and purposes he's a rookie, right? Like he just put out his rookie year of film essentially as a starter. And so if we can get, because how many guys have like a great, like look at Trevor Lawrence, right? He's had a great start to his career, but like when like he got hurt and then he stinks now, right? It happens. So put it together next year and then Justin Fields, you're the guy. But like or prove us all wrong and do the absolute most Packers thing to do this year and go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. If he does well next year too, then I'll start the car. And I'll start driving towards the station.
If he does well next year, you've got I'll hook your car up to the back of the train and tow the fucking thing. I'll tow you behind the train, just down the tracks in your dumb car. Eventually, you're gonna have to hop on this bandwagon, and I'm here for that day. Like I'm still skeptical on Justin Fields, but I'm here to be wrong. I'm here for it.
Jordan Love.
Damn it! Fuck. Yes, Jordan Love. I'm here for it. I'm here to be wrong. I'm all about it. But in light of being wrong, let's talk about the playoffs. We've got Wildcard weekend coming out tomorrow. For most of people watching this later today, you're going to be watching some playoff football. We've got some matchups. Let's do the NFC first because our Green Bay Packers are playing Dallas in this Wildcard weekend as the 7 and 2 seeds. Now,
shout out to Fat Mike. I hope he has a Big Mac and a double quarter pounder before the game.
So toxic. This game, I think, like this game is our ticket to winning a playoff game, laughing at Dallas and Mike McCarthy, and then going and getting absolutely shit on by San Francisco.
As per normal in the playoffs. Yep. Yeah. Like the Green Bay Packers.
This is the continuation of the Packers playoffs right here.
The Green Bay Packers have not, including the Super Bowl, have never lost in Jerry World. So, not once. And Aaron Jones plays very well in Jerry World too.
I think this game is.
He plays very well against the Cowboys.
It's going to be all about can Green Bay shut down CeeDee Lamb. And I said
and can they run the ball
today? Because I said it at work today. It's like CeeDee Lamb is quickly become like if you notice anything watching the Cowboys, like he is the guy who gets that offense going, right? Like when they need a play, who do they go to? They go to CD, right? So, and like you saw in Miami when they lost, I want to say that was on Christmas. When they went and lost in Miami, CD didn't have a catch for a good half of that game. And the offense, it doesn't run through him, but he sparks it. Like he's the spark plug that kind of ignites the engine there. And so if we can shut him down and just stop, like, because you stop him and the explosive threat goes away, and now you can play defense properly, right? You can, even if you're Joe Barry, you have a chance there. So I think that's going to be the key to winning in Dallas and then losing to San Francisco. Unless Brock Purdy decides that he wants to hand out some Christmas donations again.
Yep. I think the biggest key to success for the Packers is running the ball. Use Aaron Jones as much as you can. Mm-hmm. Get him at least 100 yards. Keep Dallas's offense off the field as often as possible. If you win the coin toss, please take the ball, run it down the field, get up early, play with a lead, because you do not want to be down to Dallas, especially at home, because at home this year, they're unbeatable. They've never lost at home this year.
Also with that defense, they've got some ball hawks. So if Love is dropping back the pass every play, you're looking to get some defensive scoring going on.
Yeah.
And you're just asking for trouble.
So please run the damn ball, set up the play action, then get Jaden Reed involved, get Christian Watson involved if he plays, because he didn't play last week for whatever reason. Apparently his hamstring is just cooked for good. So
Let's go and talk about the 3-6 matchup
Oh,
we've got.
well, hang on. Who do you think's gonna win on Sunday?
I as a fan, I've got Green Bay winning. As a betting man, I've got Dallas.
Okay. As a
I
fan and a betting man, I've got Green Bay.
I I just if Jair is able to play, then we've got more of a chance. But without him, I don't know. Defense wins championships, and ours is suspect.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Keeping along
the 3-6
keeping along
matchup.
with the keeping along with the theme of like old coaches or players playing against former teams.
Stafford
We
coming home.
got we got Stafford coming to Detroit, where through his tenure there, he couldn't lead them to a division title, couldn't get them a home playoff game. I think he got them to two road playoff games in his career there. But yeah, couldn't get them to a home playoff game.
Couldn't win a
He's
playoff
now
game.
going to Detroit to play Detroit in their Detroit's first home playoff game, sorry, in like 30 years. I think it was like 92 or 93 the last time they had a home playoff game.
So
Those fans are going to be rowdy as fuck, but you know what? I got Matthew Stafford ruining
Oh,
their hopes, baby.
so I'm
He's
here
going to
for
go
the
in
irony
there.
for it, though.
He's going to go in there and cook.
Yeah,
He's going to cook that defense like
interesting.
Jordan Love cooked it on Thanksgiving Day. He is going to
Interesting.
cook that defense.
So
Jared Goff in the playoffs turns into shambles, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to be in
I don't
complete
know.
shambles all game,
I don't know.
and Matty Stafford is going to go in there and send Detroit fans home miserably packing.
I I've been hearing a lot of narratives about Matthew Stafford coming home to Detroit, but you know what I'm hearing? I'm quietly hearing a lot of talk about Jared Goff's revenge game.
Okay.
You know, McVay shows him the door pretty rudely, sends him down to football hell because MCDC wasn't going to turn that team around when Jared Goff got there, right? Because it took time. Nobody thought that was actually going to happen, and
Jared
so
Goff also couldn't throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, so there is that too.
but here's what I see. I see Jared Goff going off this game, and this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a high scoring shootout like affair. And I am gonna pick the Rams in this one, but not because of Matthew Stafford. I'm gonna pick the Rams because of Aaron Donald
Okay.
because he's too good, and especially you get him going in the playoffs, right? He's gonna make a play when it matters most, and I see him, getting a pivotal sack on fourth down in a 42-35, 42-38 affair where a touchdown or a field goal could either tie or win it up a bunch, and he just makes a play, and that's how I see this game going for because it's like that he's too good to not be a factor in this game, and I think
Yeah.
that the lack of defense from Detroit means numbers are coming up, but I do think Detroit can match it. MCDC is
Yeah.
going to bite off some kneecaps. They're going to go down fighting.
I've got nothing, I don't think I can rebuttal any of your takes. Jared Goff could very well play very well. So I think it could be one of the two things happens there. But yeah, I do think the Rams, just with their veterans being seasoned and like been to a Super Bowl, I just think they're going to come in and just like know what it takes. And yeah, I think they're going to pull it out. But yeah, moving on to the 4-5
The
for the
4-5.
NFC, we got
The
Tampa
game
Bay
that
hosting
is the
Philly.
worst out of the lineups here.
So Philly nosedived about midway through the season. Jalen Hurts started playing like his trash self from a few years ago. Honestly, dude, this game is a toss-up. Either Baker Mayfield is going to cook against that trash defense like he cooked against Green Bay's, or baked, I guess, like you would like to say.
He's a baker, man.
He's a
He's
baker.
he's either gonna bake you a nice
Or
pretty cake or a bunch of apple turnovers, man.
Hurts is gonna get desperate, realize like, oh shit, it's go time now. I got to start being like the player that got us to the Super Bowl last year. I honestly, this game could go either way for me, man. I don't know who to pick to win. I have no idea.
I've got
Eh,
the Bucks to win because I don't think Jalen Hurts is entirely the problem. Like he's a big part of it, yeah. But like that team, they have, like you said, they've taken like collectively nosedived. They just don't
yeah.
have the swagger. Like AJ Brown, what's going on with him? The defense can't stop a paper airplane. Like
Yep.
Matt Patricia over there is out here running defenses back into the ground, man. Um, they don't have the swagger they did 2 months ago. Like when they were a
Yeah.
10-1 football team, they don't have it anymore. They're in shambles. They know they're in shambles, and it's like one of two things happens: something galvanizes the team, and they come back together and just like, oh, hey, we're good now, or they ram their head against a brick wall repeatedly until they're unconscious and lying there in a puddle of their own blood.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything that's going to galvanize that team. Like they got their ass kicked plenty of times by good and bad teams down the stretch, and it's like nothing has brought that team back together, and I just don't see it happening for them this year. I think Baker Mayfield plays like decent enough to not lose, and it's like this is your stereotypically like bad wild card game. Everyone says like, oh, you're gonna be the like team in the NFC that loses by 20 or whatever. It's like, they're not gonna get blown out by the Bucks. They're gonna get beaten by the Bucks, but not blown out.
Okay.
They don't have the swagger anymore. And it's like Tampa Bay, that team's rallying a little bit, They're rallying. They've got some good guys on the edge outside with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin still, and as long as Baker makes good decisions, they're going to win that game.
I'll take the Bucks too. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. All
right. Moving on to the AFC. Yeah, we've got. I guess we'll do it kind of just in order of the games how they play. Okay. I think it's the first playoff matchup of the weekend. Actually, tomorrow it's Houston. It's Cleveland at Houston.
The Deshaun Watson Bowl. That
Deshaun Watson
Bowl,
not playing in. That Joe Flacco's playing in. Dude, I watched CJ Stroud against the Colts last weekend. That dude was firing absolute darts when it mattered most. I'm taking the Texans to win this one. I know Joe's got the playoff experience. I know like he's won a Super Bowl. He's been here before. But you know what it took for him to get to that Super Bowl? Broncos blown coverage, man. With less than a minute left.
Why you gotta do that to me? I just started sleeping at night. Why you gotta do that to me?
That shit ain't happening again, dude. I got CJ Stroud cooking. I got him moving on to the next week. Then they'll probably lose, but for now.
So
I'm all in on Stroud, dude. Let's fucking go.
Cleveland and Houston played each other recently. Joe Flacco was the quarterback for Cleveland, and Case Keenum was the quarterback for Houston. It was the battle of failed Denver Broncos starting quarterbacks.
The Six Flags carousel, baby.
Here's the thing. Like, I don't think that CJ Stroud is going to play bad. I think he's going to go out there and absolutely kill it. But what I cannot ignore is 265 yards in one game to Amari Cooper. That defense of Houston's is going to lose them a playoff game. They won the South by default because Jacksonville choked. That defense ain't ready. They ain't ready. They weren't ready 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, however long it was, for Joe Flacco and that offense. They've still got Njoku. They still got Amari Cooper. They still got Flacco. Like, that team is going to put up some points against that trash defense. I think that Houston will keep up. I just don't think that defense will keep them in that game. I just don't. I think Cleveland walks away with an upset. Well, I don't think it's an upset. I think Cleveland walks away ending a good season. Like, if I'm Houston, I have nothing but good things to say about this season. Stroud's going to kill it. He's going to be great. They still don't have Tank Dell. Nico Collins is incredible, but I don't think that it's going to be enough to match how porous their defense was last time they played Cleveland.
It's going to be a shootout.
I don't disagree, actually. I don't see Houston's defense making a play. Cleveland, they could
very well be whoever has the ball last.
Like they're hurt,
Yeah.
but they're hurt, but they're still good. So
Yeah.
I see I see a good fourth quarter stand from a Cleveland defense that Houston can't match.
Next up, we got Miami traveling to Kansas City, which rumor has it,
oh man,
-30 with the wind chill.
If I'm a fan who bought tickets to this game, I am pissed because that's gonna be alcohol can't fix it cold.
Yeah. But luckily, Mahomes' wife will be nice and safe under a heater somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, Taylor Swift's gonna be up there right next to her, all bundled up in a suite with the earmuffs and everything.
Liquid on the fans. Yep. Dump cold, like fucking champagne on the fans, the cold fans, like she did a couple years ago. His wife. She'll probably be doing that again because she's just insufferable.
Yep.
I got Miami taking this one, dude. I don't think the Chiefs. I don't care how good the Chiefs defense is. I don't think the Chiefs receivers will be able to catch a ball in that, especially in that weather. Good luck. MVS is gonna just like elect to not play and sit in the locker room and watch the game from like the heated fucking like spa or whatever they have in there. There's no chance he's gonna go out there and make a mockery of himself in a playoff game. I got Miami winning this game handedly. Tyreek Hill revenge game. He's gonna fucking. I mean, I know he left, but I'm still gonna call it a revenge game. He's gonna go all over the field. They're gonna use him in all different ways, passing, sweeps and shit. He's just gonna get the ball, and Miami's gonna win this game, and it's gonna be hilarious.
As much as I want Miami to win, that is a team that doesn't play well when they're uncomfortable. That team is like, I love Mike McDaniels. I love the offense they've got going there. They're not a team that plays well when they're uncomfortable. Like that,
they're going to be comfortable all game because they'll be winning.
That I don't know. I do think Tyreek's going to go off because how can he not? But like Tua doesn't strike me as a guy who can put it together right now.
Maybe not. But is Mahomes ready for that weather either?
I think he's more ready than Tua is. Like Mahomes has never played in this type of weather, but he plays in the cold every year in the playoffs.
Yeah, that is true.
So like he might not be ready for this level of cold, but he's more ready than Tua.
Somehow the Chiefs the Chiefs got another home playoff game. For as shitty as they were this year.
Well, the whole division was shitty. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And like Fangio is the defensive coordinator over in Miami. He never figured out how to beat the Chiefs. He always held them to close games, but he never figured out how to beat them. So, I think this is going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. There's going to be a lot of penalties. There's going to be some turnovers. Like there's going to be some bad fumbles, I think. Honestly, like I really don't know who's got this one, but I think I'm going to take the Chiefs because I don't see Miami being a team who can fight through that. And like I want Miami to win. I am a closet Miami fan because I love McDaniels. He's such a good personality. I love the way he interacts with his players. I'm not a Tua fan because I just don't think he's clutch. I just don't think he's got it. Like I thought at the beginning of the season he looked untouchable, and then he started getting uncomfortable. Guys started to get to her a little bit. Guys started the offense started to get figured out a bit, and then what happened? Like he dramatically dropped.
Yeah.
Like he went from MVP favorite in my eyes to not even in the top 10. So I don't think that team can put it together. They need that team. This is going to be a good loss for Miami. I think it's going to be a loss that they learn from and come back from next year because right now they don't play well uncomfortable.
It's a fair point.
So,
fair point.
I do think this is going to be a good game if you like defensive football, though.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. Just like that Packers San Fran playoff game in 2013 in the Wildcard weekend when they were giving out free hot chocolate to the fans at Lambeau for showing up. And the Packers lost by 3.
Do you think Kansas City gives out free hot chocolate? Do you think they have? I don't think they have a heart up there.
No, they don't. Last game we got to talk about though, the 2-7 matchup, the Bills and the Steelers.
Bills and Steelers.
I definitely have the Bills winning this game. It's going to also be very cold up there. I heard rumors that they're talking about moving the game to a neutral site potentially because of the cold.
I've heard those get shot down. I was looking this morning, and it seemed like those were being shot down for the most part.
Personally, I fucking love this. Like, I want to see these guys out in the elements like that. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Also, like when they were talking about moving it to Cleveland, Cleveland's not a fucking neutral site. It's down the river from Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like that would take a home playoff game for the Bills and just turn it into a complete 180. You don't think that field's gonna be packed full of Steelers fans? Come on.
Yep.
Get real. If you're gonna move it, put it on the fucking like West Coast or something where both teams have to travel and there's no home bias up the river. Come on. Come on, NFL. They could figure it out.
They could host it at US Bank since the Vikings aren't in the playoffs.
They could. Nice jab at the Vikings there. But no, don't be soft, NFL. Don't be soft.
Yeah, I've got Buffalo winning this game.
They earned that spot. Let them have that playoff game.
Yep, I've got them winning it. I don't think it's going to be close. Pittsburgh doesn't have any offense to speak of. I don't really think there's going to be a competition. Yeah. When you can't even say the quarterback's name right, you just know it's a walking L. Pittsburgh. Congrats on
Crosby, and I'm like, that's not right.
Congrats on getting the 7 seed, but the 7 seed in the AFC is meaningless because it's a top heavy, very competitive.
I think the 7 conference seed means more now than it ever did because like AFC it was tight this year. Like anybody could have gotten in that. Like it could have been Jacksonville, it could have been Houston, it could have been Indy, it could have been Cincy, it could have been Pittsburgh. Like up until the last week of the season, it could have been Denver or LA or not LA, Vegas. Like anybody could have had that 7 seed this year. And luck should have it. Fucking Pittsburgh bullshits their way to another winning season.
Tomlin saved his job again.
Is the coach of the year every year. I swear, I don't understand how you can't keep getting away with this.
All that to say, Buffalo is going to win, and we'll see them.
They're going to win by 20. Like, this is the blowout game.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Allen is going to have a good playoff game, hopefully, finally. And
I do think this is a trap game for the Bills in the sense of they're going to win and get cocky.
Yeah, maybe
because that team is like unstable.
Yeah,
they are like one dropped pass away from Josh Allen throwing 4 picks and them losing to Pittsburgh versus Josh Allen throwing 5 touchdowns and no picks. Like that is such an up and down roller coaster team, and I think it's really easy for them to get cocky because like they can be so good.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there either.
So they gotta watch out to not get knocked out in the divisional round like they always do.
Yeah.
Prove us wrong. Man. Make it to a championship, Buffalo. Come on.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Prove me wrong, Josh Allen.
Yeah. Dude, he's so good. He's so good and so boneheaded, man. This is what it must have been like to watch vintage Brett Favre, man.
Yes. Yep, exactly. Oh, man. But either way, it's going to be a great weekend of football.
Absolutely.
Excited for it. And we'll be back with you next week to talk about recapping the wild card round, but also to preview divisional round, because I think we'll just continue, whether the Packers are in it or not, we'll continue to kind of cover these playoffs as they happen, and then once the season kind of wraps up, we'll shift our focus to NBA and NHL. And
talk about some of the coaching implications that we're seeing unfold. I think there's too much unknown to really like say much about it right now, other than the fact that like there is an alarming amount of good coaches out there, and like if you're Atlanta or Carolina or hell, like if you're a team that's even got like a decent coach that's like meh, like if you got like a Dennis Allen running around, like you're firing him for one of these guys, right? Like there's a lot that can happen between now and March 1st, so we'll be doing our best to keep you all updated on it for sure. I think
definitely.
There we go. It's like I think we lost your audio there, buddy.
Definitely. Yep. We'll be covering that for sure. But yeah, again, just sorry we were gone for so long.
Professional.
Sorry we were gone for so long. Life happened, and now we're back, and let's fucking go. Go Pack, go. Sunday. Let's pray for a win, boys. Let's go.
Let's do it. Pack, go.
Let's send Fat Mike packing to the McDonald's drive-thru after the game in his misery, eating his sorrows away. I want that so fucking bad, please. And I want Dak Prescott to choke again in the playoffs because that's all he does. Please,
I
let's go.
cannot wait for the narratives to come out of this weekend. I cannot wait. It's going to be golden. It's going to be awesome. Excited. Football, it's back and yet almost over.
Yeah.
Playoff time, baby. Let's get it. Go Pack, go.
Yep. Let's go. Go Pack, go. See y'all on the other side.